right? Again, those are the key things to look for when you look at the stream. This is the criteria, right? CLB, 4 here. High school, again, mandatory to have at least high school, and you must have an education credential assessment in place. At least 1 year work experience in a related knot. It has to be a related knot, so we look at the duties. You know what that means? You cannot have a job offer as, let's say, cook, and you have experience as an accountant. Does not work, okay? We must have permission endorsement. Foreign workers do not get in touch directly with us. We, for this specific program, deal with employers, and employers will be dealing with you. And they will provide you instructions what you need to do, the forms that you need to sign. Then they send everything to us. At the end of the process, when we are ready to endorse somebody, after the employers make an application to us to endorse you, then you will receive a letter from us with the endorsement. That's the letter that you need to use for the permanent residency, okay? On our website and on the federal government website, you'll see Atlantic Immigration Pilot instructions, very clear, very detailed. The guide is there. What else? What else for every program you need to look for? The guide and the checklist, yes. That is very important. Right, settlement funds, 3,000, much less than the express entry because you have a job, right? Okay, and the needs assessment, what's the major difference for Atlantic Immigration Pilot, and the reason we are working with employers, employers are also working with settlement agencies, and they're working towards the settlement of the workers that come in. This is why you don't have to pay, this is paid by the federal government, but every family coming in goes through a needs assessment. The needs assessment identifies what a family needs, right? Let's say you have children that need to go to school, let's say your spouse may need extra language, all those things will be identified, and then a plan for this will be put in place. The companies will deal with the settlement agencies, or they will work with you to make sure that you have everything covered when you arrive. And the next part, Ashraf is going to give you the information on the settlement services, and from there on we'll go to questions.
So after everything you heard so far, are you still interested to go to New Brunswick? Yes? Yes? No, change your mind? Okay, so settlement services. New Brunswick is probably one of the provinces where we have the highest number of settlement agency in Canada. So we have about 15 settlement agency, which is funded by the federal government and the provincial government. We see integration is very important with the success of immigrants. We want to make sure that you succeed in your journey to New Brunswick in terms of finding jobs, in terms of your kids well integrated in the school system, your spouse is happy. So if the spouse is happy means that everyone's happy. Because if your wife's staying home or she's looking for work, while even if you have a job and then life is not good. So be that complain all the time. So those settlement agency is not located only in the major urban center, not in Fredericton, Mountain, St. John. They are located across New Brunswick. So it doesn't matter where you're going to settle, you can have easy access to settlement services. And those services are provided in English and French, according to the region you are going to be settled in. So language training is provided in some agency in English, in some other agency also in French. Employment counseling. So if you are successful under the express entry and you enter Canada, New Brunswick, and you don't have a job yet, you'll be able to communicate with the employment counselor at the settlement agency, and they will have job fairs, they will link you with different opportunities where you can have access to jobs and employers, and link you with other successful immigrant who has been through the same journey, which they can share their experience with you, and this way we expedite the process of integration. Also, they provide orientation about living in New Brunswick, about how to get your driver license, how to from the minute you land in New Brunswick until you are bought your first home, you are rented a house or rented an apartment. All these services are free. You don't have to pay for any money for it, because again, they are funded by the federal government and the provincial government. In the same time, the settlement agency do not only deal with the newcomer, they deal with the community at large. Because we want to make sure that we have a welcoming communities. So if they see somebody from Egypt or somebody from India or somebody from the Philippines, and they are not used to see this high number of immigrants, that can be risky. So you will have some kind of a racism incident, stuff like that. So the settlement agency organize public awareness campaigns. They can talk to the different members of the community about value of diversity, value of immigrant. Talk to employer, that employer will come out and say, we need immigrant. Immigrant is a very important element of the economy of New Brunswick. So also the social and networking and family activities, there is different type of things, like as George mentioned, soccer, there is skating, there's different wide variety of activity which they will be able to link you in, and this way, again, the kids will feel that they are integrated into school, they have friends, they are not in isolation. So it's a whole package of whereby to make sure that your journey is a good one, is a successful one, you get the job, you bought a house. We look at the long term, not just the day you only arrive. So through our experience, we have seen that the role which settlement agency play in the whole process of integration is very crucial to the immigration process, and this is why the federal as well as the provincial government invest heavily in the settlement agency. Like on average, every year between the federal and the provincial government, there is close to $10 million spent in settlement services. About $6 million from the federal government and $4 million from the provincial government. That's a substantial amount of investment for a small province like New Brunswick. So you don't have to wait until your immigration process completed. Right now, if you go to our website, welcomenv.ca, there is orientation guide in English and French, which basically all the stuff which I spoke about is there, from how to buy a home, how to bank account, social insurance number, Medicare, driver license, what you need to do as far as getting your driver license from here, or equivalencies of testing, schooling. Basically, anything you need to know is right there. So I would suggest to you, probably, it would not hurt to go to the website and, before you make the next step, see what it looks like, because it's really important. As George mentioned in the presentation, as we travel around the world, we are looking for individuals who the lifestyle of New Brunswick suits them. New Brunswick is a small province. It's not Toronto, it's not Montreal, it's not Vancouver. And we want to make sure that the matching between you as a potential immigrant, and this is why we have the presentation, we have the video to give you a flavor of what's the lifestyle. This is what you're looking for, or you're looking to be in a crowded or, very busy city. New Brunswick is a great place. It's a very, I wouldn't say slow, but it's there is a lot of opportunities, unlike Toronto or Vancouver, and I can vouch for some of the immigrants which I saw and the speed of integration and how well their kids and their family do in New Brunswick. So I hope that to see you in New Brunswick someday. And again, thank you very much for being here. And apology again for the change of the date from the 28th to 27th. However, we were able to accommodate the prayer time, and thank you for that.
Just a couple of, before we go to the questions and answers, there's a couple of add-ons. All of you hopefully received, when you came in, some brochures, right? So let's go quickly through this to clarify, and I think I should just say what this is.
This here, the one, this basically, if you look at the side, has a list of all the settlement agencies around province of New Brunswick. And you go here in the map, and you will see the red dots there. Those are the settlement agencies which we talked about.
Question, and they have the contact information details, right?
Yes, nbjob.ca, at any point of time, there is over 2,000 jobs there. Continuously added, employer adding jobs, posting jobs on that website, which possibly you should be visiting also and exploring what kind of jobs are available and what's the potential for you to be successful in securing jobs in New Brunswick. Then this is the last one there, which basically, in summary, about all the programs which is available for immigration to New Brunswick, criteria, what you need to know, as well even the business program. Also have information about the business program, what's the minimum requirement, and also the website, welcomenb.ca. So that's, so we have two microphones there, one here, one there. So if you have a question, please get up and, well, you can go to the mic and we'll try to answer. Thus, again, I would caution you not to get to a specific case. As long as it's a general question, we'll answer.
Now you know who is an artist and knows how to manipulate the microphone. Singers, karaoke, you know.
I want to thank you first for this information session. I have one question about the fund. Could it be short-term loan after 6 months? If I have the ability to pay big installment, so I can get a loan for the whole fund and pay it for the next 6 months? Is it acceptable or not?
Well, as George mentioned already, it cannot be a loan. You cannot borrow money from the bank and show it and deposit it as a lump sum.
Even if I have the ability to pay a big installment, for example, 10K per month. If I have the ability to pay 10K per month, can I get short-term loan from the bank to avail it for the fund?
If you have the ability to pay, that's what you show us. The ability to pay. That's what we want to see. So if you have a source, where's the money that you're going to be using to pay the loan? That's what we want to see. Right? We need to see that yours, that proof of funds. You don't pay anything to the government. You show you have access, and it's your money that you and your family will be using to